But HEGSETH says something in this video concerning Iran, the crisis, and so many things, maybe the money being spent and other things. Watch this.
I look forward to sharing the incredible successes of our military, achieved in a matter of weeks. President Trump, unlike other presidents, has had the courage to ensure Iran never gets a nuclear weapon, and he's ironclad in that. We have the best negotiator in the world driving that deal. The biggest challenge, the biggest adversary we face at this point are the reckless, feckless, and defeatist words of congressional Democrats and some Republicans.
How sad. How sad, first of all, that a child is allowed to hold that position, an immature child that doesn't even understand. There's so many things he doesn't understand. But the first thing he doesn't understand is that the people that are on that committee are members of the Armed Services Committee. And as a former member of the Armed Services Committee, I can tell you most of those people have military bases in their district. Most of those people represent the men and women in uniform that fight for this country, that are deployed across the world, that are deployed across the Middle East. And their first concern is the safety and the security of those soldiers and sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guard members. That's their concern. And this guy acts like a punk, a little punk, saying that those members of the Armed Services Committee, who mind you, are actually fulfilling the oath before country and God that they gave and following the orders, not of one president, but of our founding fathers in the Constitution in Article 1, to have oversight over an administration, any administration, just like we did with the Clinton administration, just like we did with the Bush administration, just like Republicans did with the Obama administration. That is what they take an oath to do. And Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, just said that these Article 1 representatives were a greater adversary to America than Iran's Revolutionary Guard, than Iran's mullahs, a greater adversary than all of those groups, the terrorist proxy groups that are trying to kill our soldiers every day. Isn't it pretty remarkable? Pretty remarkable that we've been lectured by MAGA world over the past week that you can't say anything. You can't say, oh, the president's acting like an authoritarian because you may get him killed. Oh, the president is actually, he's acting like a fascist, or he's using fascist rhetoric. So you can't say that. You can't say that because you might cause people to shoot him, as if the two go together. And here you have Pete Hegseth saying that members of Congress doing their constitutional job are greater threats than the Revolutionary Guard. And listen, just for the record, as Jonathan Chait pointed out in The Atlantic a couple of days ago, Donald Trump regularly calls his opponents that he disagrees with communists, traitors, people who need to be shot in the face. So it's just such nonsense. It really is. And I understand hacks doing it. I understand hacks. But when the Wall Street Journal editorial page and the National Review goes down that tired line, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So here we have, Willie, a Secretary of Defense that says the greatest adversary to U.S. troops right now, not the Revolutionary Guard, but members of Congress who want to know, I don't know, basic things. How much money have we spent there? We finally got the answer yesterday. What actually are the reasons why we went to war? Because he really still didn't give us a clearly defined answer. He did say, and I'm glad he said it, there can never be a nuclear Iran. So if he decides, and this administration decides to cut and run, while Iran still has nuclear weapons, then, well, I guess by his own definition, there's a failure. But another thing happened yesterday, and I swear to God, it's just, I don't know if they're children or they think that everybody that follows them are children. But we heard once again yesterday them kind of juggling the ball, saying, we destroyed Iran's nuclear capability. Oh, okay, great. We have to go to war because Iran's 2 weeks away from having a nuclear weapon. Wait, but you destroyed it a year ago. Now you're saying they're 2 weeks away. And we had the same sort of tap dance yesterday. We can't leave until their nuclear program's destroyed. Oh, the president destroyed their nuclear program. So this whole thing, again, it's an embarrassing exercise. And I do mean this. He's not only... It's not only embarrassing for the United States of America. I keep saying this. It's embarrassing for the Republican Party. It's embarrassing for the President of the United States, who deserves and needs somebody better running the Pentagon than this child who embarrasses Donald Trump every time he goes out and talks.
Yeah, these performances that we see from Pete Hegseth once a week or so are designed to humor the president, to please the president, to get a pat on the back from the president. But as you say, they're not helping the president in this war effort at all. And any basic question, the ones you just laid out, how much does the war cost? Did you not see the consequences of war, like the Strait of Hormuz potentially being closed, which every former military leader we've had on this show said that's one of the first questions you ask. When the subject of Iran comes up, the next question is, what about the Strait of Hormuz? The cost of gas is now $4.23. All of these consequences, all of these outcomes, did you not consider them? And the response to that from Secretary Hegseth yesterday is, why do you hate America? Why are you rooting against the war? You're the actual bad guys. If you deign to criticize or ask questions about this war, you're rooting against America. That's just not how it works here in America, Jonathan Lemire. But President Trump seems to like Secretary Hegseth, likes his combativeness, likes the way he performs. He's sort of adopted the language of Donald Trump. And so there he sits at the head of the Pentagon as this war drags on, frankly, with no end in sight.
Secretary Hegseth, frankly, doesn't have that many allies or friends within the White House, but he has the only one that matters. President Trump likes him, loves the performative outrage that we see in those briefings at the Pentagon and likely yesterday. It's worth highlighting this. We just showed what Hegseth said, that the biggest adversary we face at this point are the reckless, feckless, and defeatist words of congressional Democrats. A few moments later, when General Kane gave his opening remarks, he included a line about General George C. Marshall's commitment to a nonpartisan military, saying, quote, that remains a constant standard and something I borrow from often. So General Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, saying what you should say there. The military is not supposed to be political. Yes. Secretary Hegseth not doing the same. And we, as Willie just said, there are real ramifications for this war. There are no negotiations planned. The Strait of Hormuz is shut. Yes, U.S. officials believe the blockade is working, but we have a long way to go. And overnight, oil prices surged, hitting a fresh wartime high, Joe and Mika. Right. And right now, the Trump administration is looking for a way out without an obvious answer.
Thank you for watching my video. I hope you heard everything concerning what HEGSETH said in this video. What is your own opinion? I hope you enjoyed this video. For more news, updates like this, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and turn on the bell so that anytime I publish the next video, you will get notification. I really appreciate your time for watching my videos. God bless you.